Hello everyone, I am the Weather Dude, welcome back, and today we are giving our first forecast on another potential winter storm. It's like all of a sudden ramping up, right? Yes, an upcoming major winter storm taking place in the Midwest this time, so stay tuned for the whole video and enjoy. If you'd like staying up to date with the latest weather forecasts and updates, then please consider hitting the subscribe button below. Let's see how fast we can get to 2,000 subscribers. Also, to help this video's performance very much, please consider clicking the like button and sharing this video with your friends. Also, please consider watching the whole video. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. Now as we start off here, again, these oscillations, again, I just want to, because again, these update every day, and I want to show you the three main ones that we look at because these do actually help predict these weather patterns. So starting off here, we're starting off with the PNA. Again, this upcoming major winter storm is definitely happening because of these oscillations, because as you can see, PNA is still well in the positive index, and that, again, promotes cold and even some snow for the east. As a matter of fact, in the mid-Atlantic here today, we actually did have a few snow flurries. I would say a total of 50 snowflakes came down, but it was like 37, so it was just a tad too warm. But there was a brief little disturbance that swung across the northeast, probably like behind another storm, and we did have a few flakes of snow. All right, but still haven't seen much here yet. But the PNA is positive, and that does mean, and as you can see, right on time, a snowstorm will be swinging through in the next few days. Here's the NAO, right? We got the North Atlantic oscillation going into negative. So when it's negative, that means the same thing as a positive PNA, meaning that, again, cold and snow for the east. And finally, we have our AO, which is our Arctic oscillation. This one's about to get really low. And you can tell by the name, too, Arctic oscillation, which means Arctic air could be getting into the U.S. if this gets if it gets low at a certain point, which it is forecast to. All right, the red lines means what's forecasted. The black line is up to date. Like where the black and red lines touch, that's where we are right now, basically. All right, so here we are with our first set of models. Now, normally I would say like comment the name of the mystery model at the end down below, but we're taking a look at a lot of different models today. But feel free to put any name of the models I'm showing in the comments if you want to. All right, but we're showing a lot of different models today because there's a lot to explore. So starting off here, we have the GFS model, one you guys have definitely heard before. So here's a storm coming in. But the thing with I noticed with a lot of these snowstorms that come through so far, remember it's December. There's not much cold air associated with these. There's enough to produce the snow, but I feel like it's just been too far north thus far. I think it's because there's cold air, but it's just not enough, and it's not getting far south enough. But this one could produce snow, but again, it's going to be a bit far north. All right, but still snow for not just mountainous locations, but lower elevations as well. So got eastern Nebraska, southwestern Iowa, starting off here on 2 p.m. Friday. All right, this is basically on December 11th, so a couple days away actually. All right, and then here is 2 a.m. on Saturday the 12th. As you can see, there is a thin line of snow, right? But it's not impressive. But watch what happens as we head until Saturday morning, the colder part of the morning, and then we see a little bit more of a thicker layer of snow breakout from Iowa, especially through northern Illinois and Wisconsin, through Michigan, right? And then once the low really starts deepening, right, we get more cold air to build, and then the snow really cranks out from northern Michigan, southeastern Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, all the way back into Iowa still. All right, and you'll be surprised at some of the snow totals we're seeing here. All right, and then snow lingers over northern Michigan. Snow may not even be over until later in the day, Sunday, or even early Monday morning. All right, and then that is it with the GFS model. So we're not worried about ice with this thing, which is good news, but what we're worried about, well, I'm not worried about, I mean, I would be excited for this, right? But snowfall in some localized areas, according to the GFS model, in southeastern Wisconsin and western Michigan, or a little spot in northeast Michigan as well, where there is the heaviest snow bands get the most moisture and the most cold air. So those red spots do indicate exactly 12 or 13 inches of snow. So yes, a foot plus is always possible, but in this purple layer right here, that means 6 to 12 inches at least. And then again, those red areas being like 12 or 13 inches of snow. So GFS model, yes, putting that 6 to 12 layer from eastern corner of Iowa through southeastern Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, all the way through northern Michigan. This does not include the UP of Michigan. All right, they won't be seeing much out of this But again, wherever it lines up, this band right here, all right, basically like lining up. But still, even eastern Nebraska, where this all started out, we could still see about 3 to 5 inches there as well. I would surely take it personally. I would surely take that amount. All right, and Chicago, pay attention to Chicago, because if the storm tracks a bit farther south, then the snow goes into Chicago because there's more cold air. But as of right now, less than an inch is forecast for Chicago according to the GFS model. Next model we have is a Gfs V16. Now this is pretty similar to the GFS, but this is a V16 parallel. So I'm pretty sure that they take 16 similar branches of the GFS model, basically 16 model runs, and combine it into this, basically. I think that's why it's called the V16. But it's just basically like a parallel version of the GFS model. So it will look somewhat similar, all right? But still, look, it's different, and it's certainly a model we need to look at. Again, all these models on pivotal weather as well. So we're starting off with Friday at 8 p.m. Not much colder to be found, really. I mean, I see a mix of rain and snow up there in southwestern Wisconsin, but nothing too impressive. But once the low starts deepening a little bit, right? We saw before 10:07, 10:06, really not much change in pressure. But the low will start to deepen, and we will see some snow. This particular model focuses a bit more of a rain-snow mix. Still not showing any ice, though, which is good news. All right, we don't want any ice. That'll be shown in the pink if there is any. But as the low deepens to 1,004 millibars, yeah, you see the snow starting to break out a little bit. The snow starts to get a bit heavier. And no, it's not the lower the pressure, the heavier the snow, okay? But in general, yes, there is a correlation to when the low, especially this time of year, when the low deepens, it gets stronger, it can generate more cold air behind it, and maybe even more snow. Yes, certainly. All right, so 1,002 millibars of pressure, and look at the snow at Chicago, though. You start to see a lot more moderate to heavy snow. That's why I said pay attention to Chicago, because that will definitely be how much snow they get could determine, okay, did the storm shift track or not. So the track will definitely, Chicago is definitely a up in the air kind of city. All right, that one we definitely need to pay attention to. And then once the low moves away, I mean, this is by like 8 p.m. on Saturday, snow's already pretty much tapering away, with the exception for Michigan. And then it's pretty much all gone by the time we wake up on Sunday. It is pretty much on out of here. So snowfall totals with this model, though, are very different. So they were calling, this model was calling for heavier snow for central Michigan and northern Michigan, like north central Michigan, like basically right in the middle almost. 20 inches for central Michigan, right? So there's your 12 to 20 inches lining up right there in that red color. But remember the GFS model for Chicago? Remember I said 0.7? Well, the V16 with the GFS, the V16 model is calling for close to 10 inches for Chicago, downtown as well, and suburbs. Southeast, but if you live in the southeastern portion of Chicago, maybe closer to like I believe it's Bend, Indiana. Bend, Indiana, about a couple inches, but again, they're right on that rain snow line. Southeastern suburbs of Chicago can see 6 inches. Northwestern suburbs maybe 10 or 11. All right, but overall, the snow is in a pretty similar area. All right, nothing too different. Although I would say that the GFS V16 definitely takes the same amount of snowfall, tacks a bit more snow onto it, and moves it a bit farther to the south and east. All right, so this is good for you people that live farther south. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to the snow more down there. So moving this a bit farther south with that particular model. Next model, you guys may not like. All right, this is the Canadian model, and I don't say you're not going to like it because there's going to be too much snow, but maybe the opposite. All right, so here's the low coming in. It looks normal so far. This is Friday 2 p.m. actually on the 11th. All right, again, from Iowa to Nebraska, we're seeing the snow break out. All right, and then as it moves north, yes, 997 millibars of pressure, but not strengthening all that much. And therefore, we don't really see too much heavy snow breakout. There is some snow. I would definitely call this a moderate event. But then, whoa, surprise, all right? Northern Michigan will still get their fair share out of this, right? You still get that moderate to heavy snow breaking out. All right, and then similar to all the other models, Sunday morning, this thing is pretty much gone. But notice Chicago, though, like the GFS, you don't see too much snow for Chicago. Maybe on the very back side, you'll get a few flakes if you're lucky. No, that's this model, okay? I don't mean to disappoint you Chicago people. All right, but now the Canadian model, again, they were still hefty. I would say like 8 to 12 for northern Michigan, maybe 12, 13 max out in that little red dot right there that you can see in northern Michigan, but a little bit less, I gotta say. And they're calling for 0.2 inches of snow for Chicago, which is even less than the GFS had, actually. But they call for the core of the snow to be in northern Michigan, as well as central eastern Iowa, maybe even southwestern Wisconsin as well. that's like your bullseye 6 to 10 inches, and of course 8 to 12 maybe for northern Michigan. But I would say the snowfall is a bit less. However, compared to the GFS model, if I had to compare these two, I would almost kind of say it does move it a bit farther to the south. It basically takes the band of snow the GFS had and expanded it outward, so like a thicker area of snow, which is always good as well. All right, and then you got your widespread 0.1 to 0.5 inches of snow across the entire Midwest, according to the Canadian model. Now we're moving on to the UKMET model. Now, this particular model does not come with a precipitation map, so I just have the snowfall totals to show with this model, but I've been using this model, good model to use as well. Overall, I would actually have to say pretty similar to the Canadian, except that they definitely do jack up the snow totals a lot. For example, southeastern Wisconsin, I see 15 inches, a couple areas of 12 to 15. But for Chicago, yet again, still 0.1 inches. So we got the UKMET, the Canadian, and the GFS all saying so far less than an inch of snow or even nothing for Chicago, while the Gfs V16 was calling for 10 inches. So quite a difference in the models. We still have our 6 to 12 plus region for, again, southern and eastern Iowa, extreme northern Illinois, like the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Oh, oops, sorry about that. As well as southeastern Wisconsin and northern Michigan. Again, we're talking about northern lower Michigan. I know it doesn't make sense. Northern lower Michigan, basically excluding the UP. You're a bit too far north for this one. All right, moving on now to the European model. And this will be our last model, but then I have something interesting. Could this be a blizzard for some people? All right, because we're definitely going to take a look at the winds after this as well to see maybe could this be a blizzard for some spots, and should we look out for those alerts? All right, so European model. So I feel like European model is one of those models that always likes to include a lot of wintry mix. All the other models, it was either just rain or snow. I actually like this about the European model. They do add the wintry mix because usually you won't see many storms with just rain and just snow. There has to be some wintry mix normally. Not always, but there has to be some form of wintry mix in the middle. And I think the European model does a good job of that. But still, no ice, no pink. The purple is just sleet and snow, which is still obviously very dangerous to travel. All right, but we still got southeastern Nebraska. We have northeastern Kansas, southern Iowa. Again, not really including Chicago, northern Illinois, southeastern Wisconsin, and maybe even western Michigan as well. Chicago, you have a chance, but again, you're just south of that rain snow line on the majority of the models. Again, here's your rain snow line, basically going up the Iowa-Illinois border, right on the Illinois and Wisconsin border, up through central Michigan. That's your rain snow line. But again, cannot load deep enough and move far south enough. But look at this. Look at the heavy snow from northern Michigan through northern Illinois, southeastern Wisconsin. You see the heavy snow break out at this point. And then again, by the time you guys wake up on Sunday, the storm should be pretty much gone. It's pretty much out of here at this point. And snowfall totals with the European model, here they are. Now this puts Chicago right on the line. I believe downtown Chicago looks like for you guys maybe an inch or two. All right, which is actually more than I thought they would say. But then you go literally up the lake in a northern direction, like literally maybe only 20, 30 miles northwest, and you're already above 6 inches, above 8 inches. And by the time you make your way to the Illinois-Wisconsin border, you're up above 13 inches of snow. So it's really going to be close for Chicago. I say the European gives them a chance, but the Gfs V16, definitely 10 inches of snow is what they were saying. But all the other models besides the European and the Gfs V16 don't really give Chicago a chance. All right. But definitely stay tuned to updates because this is a storm that could change paths. Again, we still got a few days till it arrives. All right. So hopefully we can provide some more updates on this one. 6 to 8 inches for eastern Iowa according to the European model. And then we got like still above 12, 14 inches for northern Michigan, southeastern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. So this could be still a pretty big snowstorm. All right, not the most impressive that we've seen. All right, not an outright blizzard, but definitely something to pay attention to. And finally, the winds. So, my forecast with the winds in terms of could we see blizzard conditions? Just judging by the winds, again, for blizzard, we definitely need that quarter mile less visibility, 35 mile an hour plus, sustained winds, or constant wind gusts above 35 miles an hour. All right, and it has to pretty much, well, we need falling snow, obviously, and it needs to last for over 3 hours, which I think we'll definitely get out of this one. So, but look at the wind gust. All right, I think the greatest chance will be if you guys live on the lakeshore. Whether it's from Chicago through what is that, Kenosha? Is that Kenosha? Yeah, Chicago through Kenosha through Milwaukee, whether it's on the western lakeshore or even the Michigan side of lakeshore. If you live right on the Great Lakes, you guys are going to have enhanced wind speeds and your best chance for blizzard conditions. I mean, take a look as the low starts deepening. We already got constant wind gusts up to 38 miles an hour. All right, this is the European model, Saturday morning. All right, but the winds could get as high as 50 miles an hour from Chicago, especially Kenosha and Milwaukee. All right, and this is on the Wisconsin and Illinois side of the Great Lakes. So, okay, so if we get those wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, I think there's definitely a chance for some blizzard conditions. Again, if sustained winds were 35 miles an hour, we could say for sure pretty much a blizzard, but wind gusts can get to 50 miles an hour as long as those wind gusts last for a little while. We can count that as well. So definitely look forward to some blizzard conditions. Not quite sure on that yet, but what I'm sure about is that we're going to see a good swath of 6 to 12 inches of snow. The models are definitely hinting at it. Just where does the storm track? I think that's something we're going to need to pay attention to. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I am the Weather Dude, signing off till next time. I will catch you guys in the next video.